Most people spend their lives defending an identity that they never even chose for themselves. This isn't about blaming your past, it's about understanding what's been speaking through you. If you don't understand conditioning, you'll protect patterns that hurt you and just call it who I am. We need to talk about where identity actually comes from, why it feels so fixed, and what changes once you actually see it clearly. Conditioning simply explains your origins. It doesn't excuse or erase responsibility. What people call identity is usually just patterns that they've learned that have been rewarded over time, whether it be in your family, your social circles, your job, life in general. It's a social survival mechanism, and it helps you to avoid punishment. The mistake comes in when we believe that identity is our essence, when identity is simply momentum. That distinction matters. The strongest conditioning doesn't feel forced, it feels normal. For example, over agreeableness. I myself has had to unlearn this, but being over agreeable is not a net positive trait. It's not. I didn't choose that trait for myself. My environment conditioned me into having that trait for a certain outcome, approval, avoidance of punishment. Most people confuse authenticity with consistency, repeating the pattern, being that same identity over and over again. But explanation isn't exoneration. For me, understanding identity is integral into becoming a whole person. Your identity can change. Your identity should not be solid. It should be fluid. Unless you expect to have a static existence in life, your identity, it's a tool for your identity to be able to be molded. I experienced an ego death where basically everything that I thought I believed didn't seem to add up anymore. And I didn't go into a crisis of any sort. I didn't start doing drugs or anything like that. It was just kind of like a moment of realization followed by a domino effect of realizations, because your actual essence, the permanence of your existence, isn't your identity. Your essence is what carries you to your identity. Your true identity, not your conditioned identity. I realized that most of the things that I would die for or stood on weren't connected to me at all, actually. Those were things that I was conditioned to care about, conditioned to believe. And I realized I owed it to myself to examine those things fully in terms of my identity. Not to say that those things lose any type of value in the grand scheme of things, but my identity can't be, I have no conviction to my identity if I don't know who I am and why I am. It's just a thing. And in order to be a human that lives a life that I'm not ashamed of, or not even ashamed of, but I'm not complicit in life living me, that awareness is key. We're not talking about your character and your personal values, but your identity, who you are, versus who you've been conditioned to be. Your conditioning can come from anywhere. If I were to run across this entire park every single day for long distances, long durations, my conditioning would become that of a distance or marathon runner. That is not my identity. That is not who I am. That's what I would have been conditioned to be. The most dangerous identity is the one you never examine.